There we go. That was not intentional, by the way. My camera will not stay put. YouTube World back at it once again. It's the Classic 8. Want to come on here and talk about NXT. Not necessarily tomorrow night's show, which I did talk about that in my last video, but just want to kind of give a retrospective on the takeover specials that we've seen from the beginning of them doing it up until now. I watched the very first one, which it wasn't called Takeover. It was called Arrival, NXT Arrival. That was the first live special that NXT had ever done. It was the first live special that was on the WWE Network. I haven't gone back and watched it since its very first airing, so I thought it would be fun to go back and watch the very first show and compare it to how they are now. The first thing that really stuck out to me was like the quality, not really the quality of the matches, but who was on the show. Like I completely forgot that Scotty 2 Hotty and Grandmaster Sexay were on this show. Like I don't remember that at all. You had Mojo Rawley, who Mojo Rawley was up there until just last past year. You had CJ Parker, who was the same thing. A lot of guys, the entry level guys you see now, they were starting back then. The match that stood out to me, which again is my first time watching it since they first aired it, was Cesaro versus Sami Zayn. This was Sami Zayn using his old entrance theme and just not working for the character that he has. I'm glad they changed it, but they went out there and had an awesome match, and then they showed respect to each other at the end. Just really great match. Not necessarily great show. It was good. The main event was Neville against Bo Dallas in the ladder match for the NXT Championship. The match was okay. It wasn't anything super special for a ladder match, but for them doing their first show, I thought it worked out well, and I was excited, and I wanted to see more, and I was just glad they were doing something different. The next show was the first NXT Takeover show. This is a personal favorite of mine. I wouldn't say it's my most favorite show, but it is one of the shows, at least for the takeover shows, I would consider my favorite. Mainly for, I won't call them two main events, but the two top matches they had on there. It was Charlotte and Natalya battling for the NXT Women's Championship. Paige went to Raw, so she had to vacate the title. They had a tournament. This was the finals. I believe it was the tournament. This was the finals. Charlotte versus Natalya. They had a really good match. This is the first time we've seen a women's match in the WWE on this level in a long time. So it really shocked me. I called it one of the best matches I've ever seen. Looking back on it now, there have been matches that have been better, but at that time, that match was phenomenal. And then you had the main event of Neville and Tyson Kidd, which I thought was really good as far as the storyline when they did Tyson Kidd and the storyline with Tyson Kidd and Natalya, especially on the after show they had. I thought it all worked out well. Really fun show. The fact that they ended those two matches really made the show that much special. What's funny on this show is that the dark match happened to be Bayley versus Sasha Banks. You see where they are now. It's pretty awesome to see that. The next show was the Fatal 4-Way, I believe. It was NXT TakeOver Fatal 4-Way. This show, I wasn't really into that other than the main event. The women's match, I believe it was Charlotte and Bayley, and the match was okay, but nothing like the match I feel like they had on NXT like a month or so ago when Bayley was going for the title. I felt like that match they had was a lot better. But this was, it was fine. The whole show was about the main event. Neville, Sami Zayn, Tyler Breeze, and Tyson Kidd. I thought those guys went out there and they killed it, man. They were teasing so hard that Sami Zayn was going to win, but Neville ended up winning at the end. This was a really fun match to a forgetful show. And who remembers Enzo versus Sylvester Lafort in the hair versus hair? I vaguely remember that. Not much Ascension and Lucha Dragons. This was not a show to write home about. I didn't enjoy this one. Like I said, the main event was cool, but everything else was there. NXT TakeOver Our Revolution. I hate saying that. Our Evolution. NXT TakeOver Our Evolution. Revolution. Whatever you want to call it. I thought this show was really good. Um, you had Charlotte versus Sasha Banks for the title. Um, I thought Sasha was going to win. She had a bank statement on near the end, but Charlotte hit the super. God, she doesn't even do the move anymore, so I don't even know what it's called. God, it's the little flip cutter. I can't think of it. Natural selection, I think that's what it's called. She did that off the top rope onto Sasha. That was really cool. I wanted Sasha to win, but Charlotte was still on the roll with a point, so there's nothing wrong with that. The main event, top two NXT matches of all time. It was Neville versus Sami Zayn. The emotion behind this show, behind this match, um, you know, they just had an awesome match. Sammy looking to turn heel at the end, but he dropped the title and he beat him with the haluva kick, I believe. Just a really awesome match. This was the show that Kevin Owens debuted. So that was cool. Kevin Owens came out, and of course, you guys know he turned on him, which started that whole feud. I thought this show was really good. Between Kevin Owens' debut, the women's match, and then the main event, I thought it was really, really fun. You also had, I believe, Finn Balor debuted. He either debuted on the show or he debuted wrestling on this show, but he teamed up with Hideo Itami, and I thought that was really cool. Really fun show. I enjoyed that one a lot. NXT Takeover Rival. This was capped off by, again, the two title matches. You had the women's match, which was, this was the Fatal 4-Way, I believe. Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, Bailey, the four horsewomen going at it. Sasha ended up, no, she pinned Sasha for the championship. Really cool moment. They had a really good match. I've actually gone back and watched that a couple times because it was a really good match. The main event, Sami Zayn defending against Kevin Owens in a complete squash match. Kevin Owens just beat the shit out of him, powerbombed him a couple times, KO'd him. He's the new champion. That was really cool to see them do this. The fact that Kevin Owens just came in, had one of his first few matches that he had, and just completely squashed the guy. I thought it was phenomenal that they did that. For me, the match of the night was Finn Balor versus Adrian Neville, which is still one of my favorite matches of this year, but one of my favorite NXT matches overall. I just thought they went out there and had a really, really good match. NXT Takeover Unstoppable. This one is I wouldn't say forgetful. It was all about the women's match, Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch. They went out there and tore it up. Really, really, this was top tier women's match that I've seen from WWE. So that was very, very, very cool to see the women go out there and have a really strong match. The main event, Kevin Owens defending against Sami Zayn. Wasn't much to a storyline. Sami Zayn was hurt, had to get him out of there. I want to say that who won? DQ? No, it ended in no contest. They ended the match. That's right. It was okay, but it was all about the women's match for me. At least for that show, completely about the women's match. And then, of course, you had NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. I've gone over that in past video. The show was incredible. WWE 24, they had the NXT TakeOver Brooklyn special. If you haven't watched that, wow, just go and watch that. And it's just, if you had doubts on pro wrestling, I guess you'll say, or if you've been feeling down on it, you watch that show and it makes you realize on why you're still a fan of this product, why you're still a pro wrestling fan. Just really well done. Obviously, the women's match, I've gone back and watched that, I think, twice. Just an incredible match. Just really one of the best matches this year, for sure. One of my top 5 matches of this year, and I've seen some really good matches, and the fact they're in my top 5 is pretty cool. And then, of course, the ladder match, Kevin Owens and Finn Balor, was really fun. But the show tomorrow should be interesting. It sucks they don't have a world title match, a championship match with the NXT title. It's all about the women's championship, Bailey and Sasha, in the 30-minute Iron Man match. I don't know why it's such a big deal that they call it Iron Man. Iron Woman, who cares? It's just a match. Again, I can fully see it going into overtime. I think that would be really cool to see. But But yeah, it's going to be a fun show. I'll give my review when it is over tomorrow. These NXT shows, they've rejuvenated some life into me that I didn't think I would have with WWE. Granted, I get it every year around Mania time, and Mania tickets are going on sale soon, so I'm starting to get hyped up for that again. But just sitting at home watching NXT, I won't say they do it for me every week because the TV show is not strong at all. It's a lot of it's very missable. I watch it because it's only an hour. It's an easy watch, but they have really helped with these live specials. Going to the live shows are really blast as well. Again, I've been to 2 in Philly, 1 in Brooklyn, had a fun time. These takeover shows, they are really, I won't say they can't miss, but again, they are really something to look forward to when it comes to WWE. Are you excited for this show? Are you not? Which matches are you excited for? Most of you guys will probably say Sasha Banks and Bayley, and well deserved because they are going to go out there and kill it. And I cannot wait. Again, my review will be tomorrow. Until then, I'm Mr. Classic 8. Peace.